Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats as we prepare to begin the Erasmus Mundus Master Global Study Graduation Ceremony 2024. I will start again. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats as we begin the Erasmus Mundus Master Global Study Graduation Ceremony 2024. My name is Dari Zhou, and I'm honored to be here to serve as your Master of Ceremony tonight. On behalf of Ghent University, I extend a warm welcome to everyone joining us today for this special occasion, whether you're being here in person with us or online. This is a momentous day, especially for our graduates, as well as their families and loved ones. Now let's begin with a musical performance. Good evening, dear graduates, esteemed faculty members, distinguished guests, and honorable participants. It's my pleasure to begin with a warmly welcoming our special guests from Ghent University. We have Professor Mieke van Herricke, the Vice Rector of Ghent University. And we have Professor Henrik Reinach, the Dean of the Faculty of Political and Social Sciences at Ghent University. And I would like to welcome Professor Sami Sami, Head of the Department of Conflicts and Development Studies. Thank you. And I would also like to extend a heartfelt welcome to our EMGS Consortium member. Following the alphabetical order, our very own Ghent team, Professor Eric van Houten. And Professor Samuel Kochen. And I'm not sure if she's in the room, but Marisa van der Kat, I think she is outside still, closing the door. And we have our coordinating team from Leipzig University, Dr. Steffi Maron, the director of EMGS Consortium, and our beloved Stefan Kaschner. And of course, we have Professor Michael Kut representing Roskilde University. And Professor Christian Ruther on behalf of University of Vienna. Last but not least, we have Professor I'm sorry, guys. I took this job last minute, so I'm a little bit nervous. Please bear with me tonight. Jaroslav Jasovic from Wrocław University. Thank you all for being here tonight, and let's make this a great evening. Well, I would like to first welcome on stage Professor Mieke van Herricke, Vice Rector of Ghent University, for a welcome address.
Thank you very much. You actually pronounced my name spot on, so. Dear colleagues from the other Erasmus Mundus universities, dear colleagues from Ghent University, dear parents, families, friends, but above all, dear graduates. Today we gather here to celebrate a remarkable achievement. We're here to praise the dedication, the perseverance, and the unwavering spirit of our graduates. It's with pride and joy that I stand before you as Vice Rector of Ghent University on this festive occasion in this beautiful building. We are here in the City Hall of Ghent. Ghent was founded in the 7th century on the confluence of two rivers. There were two abbeys, so it wasn't founded here in this spot. This was only built later. But nevertheless, this is a very important building for our history. And in this room was a very important room for our history, because I don't know whether this was mentioned in the global history course, probably not. But this is where the pacification of Ghent was signed in 1576. You can see it there. It mentions it there, that this is where the pacification of Ghent was signed. If you want to know all about the pacification of Ghent, ask Professor van Houten. He will be able to tell you. I hope. I'm not sure whether he still does, but anyhow, so this has been a very important building, a very important room. That's why this is called the Pacification Hall as well. So I'm happy to be able to greet you all here. And first and foremost, I want to extend my heartfelt congratulations to you, to the graduates. Your journey through the Erasmus Mundus and Global Studies has been very special to you, but also to us. It has tested your intellect, it has pushed your boundaries, and it has cultivated your talents. Each one of you has emerged from this program not just as graduates, but also as scholars and future leaders in your field. Moreover, for international students, studying at a foreign university is more challenging, both academically and in terms of well-being. But your Erasmus Mundus program is even more challenging than regular international master's programs, since you have to get acquainted with different universities and different traditions in those universities while looking at the topics you're dealing with from a global perspective. You can all be very proud of yourselves that after numerous hours of lectures, after all those hours that you spent studying, after all those exams, after short, perhaps even sleepless nights, After all that work and after all your efforts, you have reached the finish line. This is a very important milestone in your lives, and I would like to congratulate you all with this wonderful achievement. Congratulations. This will be an evening full of applause, so warm your hands. I would also like to acknowledge the incredible support system that has surrounded our graduates throughout this journey. To the parents, families, the friends who have stood by them, your steadfast encouragement and love have been instrumental in their success. So let's take a moment to express our gratitude to them as well. And would especially like the graduates to give a big applause for their network. Furthermore, I would sincerely like to express my gratitude to our colleagues from Ghent University, but also from the other participating universities, because just like our new graduates, they have made an enormous effort throughout the years. They have included the most current research findings in their lectures. They have started working with innovative teaching methods. They have continued to investigate whether they could raise the bar for themselves just that little bit higher, and how they could share their passion for their field with you. And like you, our teaching and support staff continually have to reinvent themselves. So I would like to say to my colleagues, commitment and for the many efforts you've made for our university, for the other universities, and obviously for our students. And I think that deserves an applause as well. Dear graduates, today we celebrate not just the end of your academic journey, but also the beginning of a new chapter in your lives. You're no longer students, you are now ambassadors of knowledge, innovation, and progress. You have the power to shape the future, to make a difference, and to leave a lasting impact on the world. I can't predict what your future will look like. Nobody can. But I do know that with this degree, you are well equipped to look forward to that future with great confidence, because this diploma guarantees an excellent education. Moreover, you've not only received education in academic subjects. During your study career, we've also tried to give you a number of extra values. You learned to look at things critically and from different perspectives. You were encouraged to commit yourselves in one way or another as a student in various organizations or for different purposes. That is how you contributed to society at large. And I hope, no, actually I'm counting on you, that during your further careers you will continue to propagate that spirit and that you will still dare to think and dare to act. Especially in your field of study, it's important for you to do so. So let me give you some motherly advice. A first piece of advice: keep in touch with each other. Most probably your paths will separate, daily contacts will stop or have already stopped, agendas will fill very, very quickly. Be alert to that. Preserve the ties that you have forged the past years. Of course, as Vice Rector, I also hope that you will keep in touch with our university and our faculty. And we have traveled a solid course together, and I hope that you will look back with lasting pride as we do. A second piece of advice. You probably know that Ghent University's credo is dare to think. Scholars, including those from all the participating universities, make science better. And through science, they make the world better. Audacity, curiosity, experimentation, change of perspective, responsibility, daring to fail, and being aware that sometimes you don't know the answers are important elements for every graduate from this program, including you. As university graduates, you have a moral and ethical obligation to use your knowledge and skills for the advancement of humanity. Throughout your time in this Erasmus Mundus, you have developed critical thinking, problem-solving, and teamwork skills. These qualities will serve you well in your careers and in life. Use your talents, use your knowledge, create new insights to come to concrete solutions for the global challenges we are all facing. At the same time, remember that learning doesn't end today, it's a lifelong journey. You have been thoroughly prepared to always deal with global challenges in a scientifically sound manner, and I'm convinced that that is exactly what society needs, especially to counterbalance the fake news that seems to be omnipresent, now more than ever. Always remember, words matter, science matters. Take initiative and keep an open mind on the world and on your role in it. Don't give in to doom scenarios. Be optimistic and stay optimistic. Persevere when it's difficult or when you encounter opposition. And never forget that you have proven that you are capable of successfully completing a very challenging journey. Take self-confidence and optimism from that knowledge to embark on new journeys. Enjoy those journeys and let those journeys further shape you. Dare to doubt, and what's more, dare to show that doubt. And also keep collaborating with us, with each other, because together we can accomplish so much more. Dear audience, dear graduates, this graduation ceremony is not only a day to look back on the past years with pride, but also a moment to look forward with confidence to what is to come. You are ready to take off. I hope that you will always remain genuine ambassadors of this Erasmus Mundus program, wherever your future careers may lead you, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Micke. Now I'd like to kindly ask Dr. Steffi Maron, Director of EMGS Consortium from Leipzig University, to take the floor.
Pacification room, I think that's a nice coincidence in those times. It's great to see you all again. Dear students, dear graduates, dear friends and family, dear Madam Vice Rector, distinguished guests, dear colleagues, welcome in Ghent, bienvenue à Ghent. It is my immense pleasure to welcome you all in the name of the EMGS Consortium to this evening of festivity and celebration. We will celebrate with you the end of, and the Vice Rector already has said this, a wonderful, a successful and exciting journey. A journey that has brought you to new places, new cities, new countries, new continents. A journey that sometimes might have seemed like quite a rough ride. A journey that will have you make new friendships, maybe lifelong friendships. And a journey during which you hopefully gathered all the inspiration, the encouragement, and the support that you will need to now embark into new adventures on the basis of the confidence that you have gained on what you have achieved and the confidence in what you will be able to do. You will tonight receive the reward of hard work, of your commitment, of your perseverance. It is a night to remember and to cherish what lies behind you, but very much also to welcome and enjoy what the future will bring. We meet here and we will celebrate, and rightly so, but we do this at the end of a remarkable week. Since you began the EMGS program, the world seems to have become ever more dramatic, culminating in this week's US elections, which some observers already see as the final nail on the coffin, which enthusiasts called at times the West. But the world has been in turmoil already when you started into the program. It's a distant past, you might remember. 2022 was the year when Russia invaded Ukraine fully, which not only led into the tremendous suffering of the people living in Ukraine, but also resulted in global inflation and recession and energy and food crisis in many parts of the world. And while in 2022 a peace deal was signed in Ethiopia between the Tigrayan and the central government to end 2 years of civil war, the humanitarian crisis at the same time in Sudan, Afghanistan, Syria, Yemen further escalated. The same year, climate change claimed almost 2,000 lives in Pakistan during the floods, while unprecedented heat waves and droughts in many parts of the world further took its toll. Also in 2022, the death of Mahsa Amini in Iran sparked unprecedented waves of protest, led by strong and fearless young women against the authoritarian regime, while at the same time the US Supreme Court revoked women's constitutional right for abortion. What a balance sheet since then. What a challenging world we live in. This world needs you. Resolutely, faithfully, and open-mindedly approaching this world, not shying away from how complex and contradictory it sometimes is, but daring to study and to understand, to moderate and negotiate. As rising talents with a Global Studies master degree, we trust you will make a difference. You already made this difference in the numerous discussions in the classroom, and the thoughtful feedback that you gave, and the papers you wrote in your research projects and your master thesis. You made a difference by challenging us as lecturers, as scholars, to rethink, refine, develop, question our research agendas, our conceptual perspectives, our arguments. And you will continue to have an impact along the way in your future professional environments as well. Some may be inside academia, others beyond. Your curiosity, your empathy, your spirit of adventure that we all admire are so utterly needed in this world. This is an evening to celebrate, to reconnect with friends and dear companions. It's an evening also to be thankful. In my role as director of the EMJS Consortium, I of course have to thank the EU, and I'm happy to do so, for continuing to support this consortium with generous support through scholarships and institutional funding, helping us to really build a truly transnational community. But very much, I joined the Vice Rector by thanking the families who often made enormous efforts to facilitate the students' journey through the program, which often meant being separated for a long time and accepting maybe sometimes risky decisions. I also want to thank the colleagues who are the heart and soul of this program, and who run the show as local coordinators and academic directors in Vienna, Wrocław, Roskilde, Leipzig, London, that's the last cohort that graduates with London on board, and Ghent. Specifically, I'm grateful to the tireless commitment of Stefan Kaschner, who had the job of 2 for the last year, who never let me down, but I'm all the more excited that he's not continuing to do this job of 2, but that we now can welcome Karen Silva-Torres in the Central Coordination Team in Leipzig. And I sincerely want to express my gratitude to Starry, Samuel, and Eric here in Ghent for helping us to arrange this evening and this wonderful celebration. I said at the beginning, we're here to celebrate a long journey that was successful, that has come to an end, and that we are starting into new adventures. There's another, much longer journey for which I'm deeply grateful, and that also is about to come to an end. It is my pleasure and honor to thank Eric van Houten, who will retire from the EMJS Consortium as academic director here at Ghent University. Matthias Midal, who started EMJS almost 20 years ago, extends his best wishes, and I shall quote him by saying, quotation marks, Eric was a fantastic compagnon de route in this global studies endeavor, and it was a very inspiring experience to see the respective research centers in Ghent and Leipzig grow. I wish him that everything he has dreamed of for his retirement becomes a reality. Quote end. That Ghent University would join the EMJS Consortium in 2015 we owe to the unfailing commitment of Eric. He not only helped navigating the complex administrative waters of transnational educational cooperation and building a growing and exciting community of scholars and students, but also founded the Ghent Center for Global Studies as a unique environment for the program. Eric developed internationally renowned research agendas, contributed to widely debated innovations to global histories of capitalism, and therefore leaving an imprint on countless students and colleagues. Therefore, I must not say that this is the end of a journey, but simply the end of a chapter, and we will open a new one we are all excited to read. Give an applause to Eric.
And I would like to take a moment to invite all consortium members to the stage to take a picture with Professor Eric van Houten, please. And of course, our university guest. Professor, please. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Eric. We will now move on to the presentation by some EMGS graduates about their experiences in the program. We are all very excited to hear what you have to say about our university and our program. This is a session, what we call it, We Will Miss It, and I would like to welcome the following students on stage: Rebecca, Malene, and Veronica, students from Ghent University.
Sorry. We printed 3, but we only need 1.
Okay. First of all, we would like to thank all the organizers of this amazing ceremony for allowing us to meet together and celebrate this achievement. Today, we're standing here with friends who not so long ago were strangers. We came into global studies from every corner of the globe, trying to understand a world that sometimes feels impossible to piece together. And now, 2 years later, we're each part of something bigger than ourselves. We live these memories that will last a lifetime and friendships that we hope will too.
As you all probably now know, our degree is pretty hard to define. Never have I ever had to explain to so many people so many times what exactly global studies is. But actually, it's not just about what we learned or where we went, it's more about who we became along the way. It's the journey of asking the same questions over and over. Where were you in your first year? Where are you going next? We sort of identified each other by the cities we called home. And to the parents in the room, I bet you still don't know exactly what your children are studying and what degree we now hold, and that's okay.
So yeah, Ghent was also one of the cities that many of us called home for a little while. And in the city, Fridays turned into Fridays. Belgian beer basically became water. Late nights at Chinastraat, Funke, Babros, or Charlatan became early mornings. And conversations ended in a chaotic mix of English, French, and Dutch. And probably German, because there's always some Germans in this degree. And let's also not forget about the awkward visits by the police to verify our residency, whether we truly live in Ghent. And the endless journeys of looking for a spot to study that didn't close at 5 p.m. And also, I have to say, very chill opening times of Ghent libraries. I really feel like this uni wants to prevent students from studying too hard.
Studying abroad really makes you appreciate the people you have near you in a different way, because being far from home, you grow closer to the people around you a lot quicker than you would at home, until eventually those people become what feels like home. And there's this kind of intimacy that only comes from sharing the highs and the lows, from experiencing the homesickness, the exhaustion, the Belgian weather that you all get to experience this weekend. We went through 6 months of this, so yeah, I'm happy we made it out. But of course, there was a lot of joy, and we experienced all of this together. Each time we unpacked in a new city, we left a little bit of ourselves there, but we're lucky enough to reunite with familiar faces in the next city or even the next continent. And we learned about culture, about politics, economics, which was pretty hard for most of us, the economics part of this degree. International relations, about anthropology, about art, about war, about peace, the big things in life and the small things in life. But what we take away is actually something more than just knowledge. It's the drive to act and to make a difference and to keep moving forward, as daunting as it may feel in times like this. Because, let's be honest, the world out there can be terrifying.
Just a glance at today's news is enough to make you want to retreat, to find a patch of sunlit grass and stay there, far from the tangled woods of reality. The temptation is strong, but is that right? Should we sit back? In this age of political despair, with autocracies and fascism on the rise, genocidal actions and forgotten wars ripping our world, increasing socioeconomic inequality and staggering climate disasters, we cannot sit back and let our fears and anxieties about the future immobilize us. The path we've been on is ending, and what's ahead feels uncertain, but we have this energy, this belief, this ambition, not just to live in the world, but try and change it. And this energy, this dream I see in all our eyes, we cannot let it die. If there's a moment to get up and actually try to put into practice the things we learned, this is the moment. I met some of the most brilliant and passionate people in these masters, and I truly believe that if there's someone who can try and do something towards a more just, peaceful, healthy, and sustainable world for all, it's all of you, it's all of us.
And of course, there's no single path to change the world or to find ourselves, and sometimes it feels like every road is a dead end, the job market is competitive, as I guess you already found out. Sometimes it can be cruel, but in the same time, options feel endless yet uncertain, and we're all pushed to chase after success alone. But today, just for today, I think we can let all of that go and just celebrate the achievements that go beyond success, like the friendships and the unforgettable experiences we made along the way.
And now we've already crossed one of the hardest finish lines there is. We survived all the late nights, the endless cups of coffee, the doubts, the procrastination, and today we're here with degrees in our hands. Later, hopefully. And we have proven that we can make it through tough times. And there's truly so much more time ahead, time to breathe, time to grow, and space to figure things out. And pretty amazing people to do it with. So here's to Ghent, to every city we called home, to every friend who's been with us through it all. Here's to the courage to keep moving forward, to carrying a piece of each other wherever we go. Here's to staying in touch, as you also said already, to helping each other out, to reaching out. Here's to the next adventure. May we stay curious, hold on to the love we have for each other, and never lose that drive to make a difference. And if I could only offer you one tip for the future, it would be just don't take life too seriously. Because worrying about the future is about as useful as trying to read a thesis after submission, which I did and found a mistake. It was unnecessary, it's stressful, and ultimately it doesn't change anything. So thank you, congratulations everyone, we made it. Cheers, cheers.
Thank you, ladies. I would like to invite Irina and Bojan from Leipzig University to take the floor.
Thank you. Well, that is definitely one tough act to follow, so thank you for that. Dear fellow graduates, friends, family, coordinators, and esteemed professors, thank you for being here to celebrate this milestone with us. I do not even know where to begin expressing my deepest appreciation for the last 2 years. I remember finding the program and being elated to learn that there is in fact a program that exists that seems to be able to answer my questions that I've been asking myself for years. Going in, I thought I knew what my expectations were, and I can safely say that they were met and exceeded.
You may be wondering why both of us are wearing almost all black outfits. We wondered that question ourselves, and I see actually we are not alone in this, and this is not a funeral after all, it's a graduation, right? But I think we found our answer the other day, and it's because we are truly grieving that this wonderful journey is finally reaching its end, and 2 years is a long time that has never felt shorter.
Arriving in Leipzig, I was met with a dedicated team of coordinators, passionate professors, and kindred spirits who were just as excited as me to begin this new journey. The first semester was, I will be honest, filled with an anxious sort of excitement, but of course the best kind. As we navigated through, as they mentioned beforehand, what global studies is, a question that we still receive sometimes and we still struggle to explain, we find comfort and solidarity in each other. I watched my fellow graduates flourish during the second semester. Terms that used to frighten us, like portals of globalization, glocalization, and epistemology, were now terms that we use comfortably. This was a time we learned how to read a 20-page paper in 10 minutes and write an essay in a day. Days spent in the library bunkers studying for our finals, evenings spent in a dingy bar discussing the topics we were writing about, will be moments that I will take with me forever, and I hope that you will too.
My second year in Leipzig was marked by my first year in Ghent, probably like your second year in Roskilde or London, were impacted by the time you spent in Vienna or Roskilde, and this is truly the essence and the beauty of this program that cannot be matched by any other. But I must confess that after Ghent, Leipzig felt like a year-long vacation and retreat. After all of the exams and tests that we had to go through in Ghent, Leipzig was a marvelous place to be. And seeing that it became truly a stronghold of global studies was inspiring, to say the least, and being part of that community, if only for just 1 year, was truly a privilege. For me, as for many of you, sometimes the program felt truly overwhelming, but we were there for each other and we made it this far. But I also know that it was challenging and overwhelming, not just for us. So I want to say thank you to all of the coordinators and all of the professors who also made this to this point, because let's face it, we are truly a demanding and tough crowd, but they made it together with us. And today is as much about you as it is about us. Reaching this finish line may be bittersweet, but I think about all of the friends that you made along the way. Think about the many experiences that you lived. Remember all of the laughs we shared and all the arguments that led us somewhere. And I hope that these memories fill your heart with optimism as they do fill mine.
So I think I can safely say for all of us that when I say that our time in Leipzig was memorable and unforgettable. My cohort and I were lucky to have such an amazing team supporting us, and I'm so grateful to our professors and our EMGS team for the guidance, patience, and efforts. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I would like to invite Ines to talk about her experience in London School of Economics.
Dear fellow graduates, faculty, family, and friends, today marks a moment we've all journeyed toward, dreamed into being, and woven through these past 2 years. It is a privilege to stand here as the final cohort of first-year EMGS students to graduate from the London School of Economics. This moment reflects our dedication and the support of those who helped us along the way. My deepest gratitude goes to my mother and father for their love, sacrifices, and care. And I know I am not alone in this gratitude. Each of us has someone in mind, a professor, a friend, a family member, or even a stranger who offered us patience, encouragement, and empathy when we needed it most. And yet, empathy, the very essence of our humanity, which binds us in times of challenge, or when absent, dissipates and erodes our shared humanity, is often dismissed as too unscientific for economic theory. Economists have gone to great length to remove human relationships from their models, reducing complex lives to self-interest or choices between faith in the market or the state. But to truly understand a society, we must see the unseen, the ways, the work of sustaining our human capacities, generating care, and nurturing people hold us together, especially in times of stark division, striking inequality, and profound injustice. Studying at LSE, a place that has produced over 20 Nobel laureates, including this year's winners in economics, Darren Acemoglu and James Robinson, whose work reframes how we think about power and inequality, brings incredible excitement and a bit of pressure. My first day on campus were nerve-wracking. I vividly remember the imposter syndrome creeping in as I sat among graduates from Harvard, the MIT, and Princeton, wondering if I truly belonged here. You see, many of my peers in the economic history department had strong foundations in econometrics and quantitative analysis. Most of us in the MGS cohort came from the social sciences, political sciences, and liberal arts backgrounds, which gave us a unique, critical perspective on traditional economic history issues. We didn't just analyze the effects of colonialism or the unequal gains of industrialization through data or models. We questioned the underlying assumptions about power, history, and justice that are often left unspoken. I soon realized that this critical lens was, in fact, our strength and our resistance. Too often, economists are allowed to become prophets, making powerful judgments about what matters in society. After an entire degree focused on quantifying history, one question raised by journalist and lawyer Dimitri Lascaris at an international peace conference in Montreal has stayed with me. He asked a room full of delegates, "Are Palestinian lives worth as much as Ukrainian lives?" The silence that followed spoke volumes. It is clear to me, and I think to us all here, that we don't need to be historians, lawyers, or economists to answer. A Palestinian life holds inherent, inestimable, and unalterable value. So too does a Ukrainian, Lebanese, Israeli, or Sudanese life. Silence in the face of this question reflects a crushing moral defeat. We live in a world where double standards and political biases seem to cloud our sense of humanity. In light of this, I urge you all, just as I urge myself, to acknowledge the class of 2024 of Khassa, students who will never walk across a stage, and the 14,000 children who will never know what it's like to grow up, to dream, and to have their own graduations. Today, as we step into the next chapters of our life, all their would-haves, or our real possibilities. Let us carry hope, sustained by those who resist injustice, who stand for truth, and who refuse to remain silent. I think of this woman walking naked in the streets of Iran, of Palestinians holding hope amidst ongoing genocide, of Lebanese families opening their doors to neighbors while being bombed, of journalists risking everything for the truth, of students' protests in solidarity with the people of Palestine across the world. It's taken courage for students to stand up and call our institutions to account, with LSE becoming the first British university to crack down on its students' peaceful dissent. Their resistance reminds us not to turn away, not to give in to despair, to fatigue, to keep protesting, to keep demanding accountability, even when faced with silence and violence from the very institutions that are supposed to protect open dialogue, critical inquiry, and the pursuit of truth. As Palestinian poet Dareen Tatour writes, "In your name, I raise my voice. In your name, I live. In your name, I resist. In your name, I write the story of freedom." So what about us? Will we be the generation that refuses the silence, that buys us a seat at the table, but robs us of our voices? I dare us to be defiant, rebellious, and true to our convictions, and I dare us to care deeply for one another, and I dare us to measure our lives not by titles or accolades, but by the courage to resist complacency and by the depth of our empathy. Congratulations, class of 2024. Let us go forth with courage and a commitment to justice.
Thank you, Ines, for a powerful and touching speech. You know why I'm the worst person to take this job? Because I start crying for everything. So moving on, we have the representative of Roskilde University, Livia, and I've been told that she's been joining with a special guest.
Hello guests, thank you so much for that powerful speech. We can't start ours without acknowledging what she said and standing truly behind her, and thank you so much for the courage that it took to say all those words. Thank you. My name is Munsha. I wasn't included. I was a last-minute addition, so here it goes. Dear fellow graduates, professors, family, and friends, it was a great honor to stand here and to represent Roskilde University with my colleague here, Livy. So I'm representing Roskilde University for this master's program, and I'd just like to say a few words. Our time together has been a journey of growth, learning, and unforgettable experiences. And I'd like to take a time to share the different memories that stood out to us and that made Roskilde so special. We were a small group with just 5 students and 3 other students joining us a little bit later. While our numbers were few, we grew close, forming bonds and turned our small cohort into something truly meaningful, together navigating the unique Danish experience, the weather, both dark and beautiful in its own strange way. The concept of hygge
Hygge, I think it's pronounced.
We're still trying to figure it out. Which we quickly embraced as more than just a cultural tradition. Hygge, the sense of coziness, togetherness, and contentment, was something we lived in our group, sharing quiet moments, laughter, warmth, amidst this long, dark Danish winter.
At Roskilde University, which is still a fairly young institution, we experienced a somewhat different way of learning, one that focused on working together and building connections. Whether we were doing group projects or having discussions, the relaxed atmosphere made it easy for us to connect, not just with each other, but also with our professors. It felt like a place where ideas could flow freely, and we always knew our voices were heard. This approach shaped our academic journey and helped us grow as individuals. Special mention must go to Michael, who was more than just a professor. He was like a mentor to us, guiding us through this transformative time with wisdom and care. Outside of the classroom, we had adventures that brought us even closer together. One of the many memorable experiences was our Danish julefrokost, a traditional Christmas meal we shared with friends, both Danish and international. Now, I could tell you all about the numerous shots that were taken that night, but I leave the ending to your imagination. Let's just say it was a night to remember.
Also memorable were the trips that we took together with new friends, joining us along the way. And of course, I have to mention the trip that we took to Portugal, or some of us, to write our thesis. And yes, the setting was very beautiful, and we did plenty of work. The food was unforgettable, experiences were amazing, and yes, believe it or not, a bit of work got done too. All in all, these moments, both challenging and joyful ones, we grew as a group. We discovered that the size of the cohort didn't matter after all. It was the quality of the connections and the experiences that we had, that we gained and we shared together. Our time at Roskilde was not just about academic achievement. It was about learning how to support one another, how to thrive in different environments, and how to find light and warmth even in the darkest Danish winters.
I now want to express my deepest gratitude to our professors and my fellow classmates. Thank you for the memories, the laughs, and support. Also, a special shout out to our first years.
The real MVPs.
You made our time even more wonderful. Finally, I must thank our family and friends whose love and encouragement have been our foundation. We could not have made it without you. As we leave here today, we're taking with us not just the lessons from the classroom, but all the experiences that shaped us beyond it. I'd love to say we're fully prepared to face whatever comes next, but let's be honest, what lies ahead is a bit of a mystery, or as we like to call it, the void. The unknown is waiting for us, but with the knowledge we've gained, the friendships we've built, and the resilience we've developed, I'm confident we'll find our place together.
So here's to Roskilde and all the moments that made this journey unforgettable. And here's to the future as we step out to make a difference in the world. Thank you.
Thank you for the wonderful speech. Moving on, we have University of Vienna representing by Dash.
Hello and good evening. Before I begin, I would like to say that I was supposed to give the speech with my dear friend Kashaf, but she couldn't be here today. But she's watching us all from Berlin, so I just want to say we miss you and we love you. I come from a very small city in India called New Delhi, just about 20 million people or so. And as early as I can remember, I always wanted to live in like a small country that no one could find on a map. And you know, if you ask any non-European where Austria is, they'll point to Sydney. So, you know, mission accomplished. So I packed my bags and I flew like thousands of miles, came to Vienna, put my stuff down in my flat, and on the very first day I thought, Christ, what have I done? I have to be here for 2 years. But, you know, what I didn't know was that there were two really, really amazing things waiting for me. One, of course, was the absolutely wonderful city of Vienna, but two was this really, really lovely group of people that I had the honor of calling my classmates and later the privilege of calling my friends. This little speech is meant to recount all the good parts and slip past the little bad ones that seem so big in the moment, but often seem to matter less in hindsight. How do I describe Vienna? Well, I mean, if you've been there, you know everyone is posh, everything is pretty, and everyone is rude. So moving to Vienna is perhaps the best cure for social anxiety because you never have to worry you've done anything wrong. They just hate everyone. So, you know, it is customary as a new student in Uni Wien that you get lost in the central building. And so on days that we all had our classes, we would take all the little trams and trains that go across Vienna, get off at Schottentor, which was filled with students and people who look very important, and walk in groups so that we could maybe find our way through those what is global history lessons. We were successful for about 50% of the time. Winter in Vienna means really cold, frigid mornings, early nightfall, and the ever-present smell of Glühwein, but it's often interrupted by the terrible scent of horses who drive tourists on those expensive carts across Ringstrasse. Would not recommend. Come summer, with endless sunlight and swims in the Donau, in the new semester we would attend our common cinemas and then plop down on the warm grass with cheap sandwiches bought from Aldi. And afterwards we'd all make beeline for the nearest coffee roasters, and always Julia would say, how about an Aperol Spritz? And I'd say, Julia, it's 1 p.m. in the afternoon and we have a class later, but it never stopped any of us. So, those 2 semesters that we all spent in Vienna felt like a full life lived. And while I don't want to bore you all with endless memories, I can only describe a few things that come to me like a montage or a supercut. The most wonderful Christmas markets, late night walks at Maria Hilfer, crazy parties at Kashav's Dome that were almost illegal, Simona baking a cake for my birthday and then forgetting to bring it and just eating it 2 days later, Afrik bringing her bike everywhere and telling us that it had a name. It's called Lucy. And Paula attending every one of the 3,000 yoga classes that Vienna has to offer. Luning avoiding all of us crazy kids so that she could look normal. Helena having us over for St. Patrick's. I look back and I remember Julia always with a glass of Aperol in her hand, and every month a new Brazilian friend visiting her. I remember a 10-day trip to the island of Sicily. I remember Olivia coming to summer school and her train running into a tree. Thank you, Deutschbahn. I remember Carla coming with me to the Ausländerbehörde at 8 in the morning because I couldn't speak any German. Gloria and I walking home after class and getting all those weird looks because our humor is terrible. Ganesh using her eyeliner and turning me into a vampire for Halloween. Me and Marie becoming friends while walking home after a law class taught by PhD students with 2 little coffee and 2 little sleep. And so many more memories that I can't always remember at the moment. But most of all, what I remember is lots of laughter, lots of love, some mistakes, and a city that truly felt like home. As you all know, we live in trying times, and no matter where we turn, to the TV, to our phones, to our governments, we find ourselves face to face with pain, with grief, with suffering, and what looks like München said, the void. But, what I've learned, and I think the only big lesson that I can impart to you, because I'm quite young, but it is that on days that just seem the most terrible, on days where your coffee turns out bad and you miss that last bus home, even in those days, you can always find something to be joyful for, something to be thankful for. It can be hugs, it can be croissant, it can be walks across the Donau. And these past 2 years, but especially that 1 year in Vienna, really reaffirmed my belief in the program that is EMGS, that all of us can come together from such different parts of the world and find community and find love and can find empathy. And now all of it is over and I'm standing in front of you in this quite frankly ridiculously shiny kurta and giving this speech, and all I can say is that I'm proud of myself and I'm proud of all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Last but not least, we have Giovanna joining us online with a recorded video. Welcome.
Good evening to all of you. Bonjour à tous et à toutes. Dobry wieczór. It is a great honor and pleasure to speak at this honorable occasion in the name of my classmates, the University of Wrocław, and my fellow EMJ's colleagues, and soon-to-be laureates. I regret not being able to be there in person with you in Ghent. It is true that when we arrive at the end of a phase, it reminds us of the very beginning, when our colleagues were, just like we were, just shy, friendly faces in a classroom. When our conversations all started with, where do you come from? What is your second year university? And the fearful, where will you study in your third semester? These are now people that we are proud to call more than our peers, our friends. Those who guided us through tough concepts, offered company for an all-nighter of studies, gave us a life-saving translation, some laughter, or a comfort away from home. Looking back, I am greatly thankful for the EMGS program and the Wrocław universities for the experience I have lived and shared, that I have learned with the professors, friends, and the experience of being there. The moments of joy and difficulty culminating in this graduation ceremony. I am also thankful for the support of my family and friends. I am also thankful for the support of our family and friends who are today celebrating with us this achievement. An achievement that is, in some part or in great part, also theirs. Thank you for being here with us today and for having been here for the last 2 years, whether from up close or from afar. I extend this thank you to all these friends, family, and loved ones who could not be in Ghent physically. No one can explain how doing a master's abroad can change you. And we probably really didn't realize it until this very moment. Between assignments of 40 pages that we had to hand in, late nights trying to memorize all concepts before an exam, or trying to understand, entangle economic graphs, nothing had prepared us to this moment, to understand what we built, the places we got to, and to believe we belong there too. It is not only the honor of the title we carry, but what comes with this new phase, a new endeavor, and new adventures, the job market. Some of us might stay in their new destinations, and some of us might have already gone back to their countries. And this is how Erasmus Mundus works. Much like the global affairs and globalization themselves, it connects us to different parts of the world. And no matter if we are in Wrocław, Hanoi, Montevideo, Almaty, Cairo, New Delhi, Tokyo, Jakarta, Istanbul, Ghent, in another time zone or an ocean apart, the contact we established transformed us. And somehow it keeps us connected. And as I think back 2 years ago, since preparing my suitcase to fly to Poland with the expectations I had, trying to understand how I could choose something warm enough to keep me warm enough in minus 17 degrees away from home, but somehow still close to the heart, I can see I learned some lessons or collected some anecdotes. 1. Learning Polish is indeed as hard as it sounds. It took us some 3 weeks just to learn how to say the name of the bus stop, Jana Kochanowskiego. Maybe I still cannot pronounce it. 2. It's not easy to describe what an Erasmus Mundus Joint Master degree is. We'll always have to explain, but I'm confident we get the hang of it. 3. Do not wait till the end of the master's to start sending job applications. Competition is fierce out there. And 4, and maybe most importantly, it's okay not to know what you'll do once you receive the diploma. Plans change, much like we do, or we did since the beginning. And this change has prepared us for the new endeavors, as big as they might be. And little by little we realize the resources we have collected through this journey. And as my grandfather used to say, happy is the one that has a story to tell. We might feel an angst of this new period that leaves us in between the not anymore and the not yet. May we face this new adventure, much like we did 2 years ago. But this time, we can pack in what we learned, now filled with new tools, memories, stories, laughters, with curiosity, some souvenirs we bought, and as usual, some sweets from home. And this time, we already know which jackets to wear when it's minus 17 degrees. Thank you. Dziękuję bardzo.
Thank you for sharing all your valuable experience, and I hope you carry this memory with you moving on to your new adventure. Next, I would like to welcome on stage Professor Michael Cook from Roskilde University to address to the graduates.
Thank you, Starry, and thank you to the students for your fantastic presentations. Well, this is for the graduates. Congratulations with your hard-earned Global Studies master's degree. This evening you can park your anxieties, you can lower the shoulders and allow a blissful feeling of relief to set in. But the route to this jubilant moment has been an arduous journey against current trends. You have crossed borders, moving from one study place to another, while prominent voices have demanded that we should erect impenetrable walls and fortifications of frontiers. At summer and winter schools, you have curiously explored the mindsets and thoughts of your fellow students, hailing from all permanently inhabited continents of the globe, while politicians have called for introvert pursuits of narrow national interests. But perhaps most encouraging, you allowed yourself to party and enjoy good times together, amidst all the hard work we have required you to perform. Well, perhaps not at Leipzig, apparently. That's and this, despite the relentless calls for enhancing efficiency and economic competitiveness by pundits and captains of industry. But of course, having graduated poses some new challenges, as it had also been a bit of a theme among the presentations so far. I mean, how can you make best use of your substantial academic competences? Where do you want to live? Who are you going to love? I know you have grappled with a lot of this already, but now, as the Vice Chancellor pointed out, this is a new phase. And of course, I mean, it should be said that there is an easy way to postpone all these difficult decisions. I mean, you could just pursue a PhD and continue the lifestyle approximating the MGS experience for many years to come. But sooner or later, you have to confront the post-university world, and I've heard that it can be tricky. And where to start? Solutionism. At EMGS, there is some disdain for solutionism. Solutionism is here meaning sort of the belief that most societal problems are fairly benign, and accordingly they are manageable with sort of a proper bureaucratic response. And there's of course a good reason why there is a healthy dose of wariness towards this line of thinking in the EMGS community. After all, solely focusing on immediate responses to imminent problems will distract us from unveiling and addressing the underlying structures conditioning inequality, injustices, and even violence. Hence, we risk preoccupying ourselves with symptoms rather than the root causes of the many severe challenges confronting communities. But solutionism will likely start to creep into your lives as you venture beyond campuses, lecture halls, and libraries. It will appear as you deal with practicalities such as housing, family life, and not least, working life. So sooner or later, your beautiful minds will likely be infiltrated by the impurities of neoliberal managerialism. Yes. Embracing solutionism does not equate employability. Sadly, not all employers know, but that is nonetheless a fact. But do not despair, because you have an exceptionally strong vantage point for countering the most undesirable excesses of this mode of thinking. The EMGS program is not a get-rich-quick scheme. You have worked that out already, I'm sure. It nonetheless has a pretty solid track record in terms of ensuring gainful employment for you, the graduates. But don't jump on any opportunity. Be a bit picky. Recall, as EMGS graduates, your comparative advantage is to be a force for good. So once you have recovered from tonight's festivity, I guess in a week or two, give it some thought. Where can you make a difference? It might be close to the communities you care about. But there can also be a case for strategically ensuring the presence of EMGS graduates inside the very institutions many of you consider part of the problem. Perhaps you can make an equally positive difference in the World Bank or an alliance's headquarters or our generous sponsors of the EU. And here I speak, I'm very sure on behalf of all my EMGS colleagues, we have very high confidence in your ability both to get access to these settings where solutionism is propagated and practiced, while at the same time acting as a vital corrective. You will likely be the meeting participant once you have sneaked inside, who ask the awkward questions which challenge the truisms of said entity. Your intervention may offer an opportunity to engage with sentiments, experiences of injustices and inequalities affecting groups and communities struggling to claim a voice in the corridors of power. Agency matter. You matter. Individually, collectively, and as EMGS agents, you have an important mission. Your unique asset is a well-honed ability to connect individual endeavors across communities and borders to steer the world in a more desirable direction. So there is plenty to think about, but not for now, because tonight we shall indulge in all this wonderful city has to offer while enjoying the good company of friends and families and fellow graduates and the dwindling group of faculty members that can keep up with you. So now is the time to hug, receive well-deserved praise, and once the master of ceremony deem it appropriate, raise your glasses for endless and careful cheers. I wish you all a joyful evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. That was wonderful. I'm sure you all have heard the wonderful intro music in the beginning, and I would like to welcome on stage the artist Adelia to introduce herself and the instrument she's playing.
Yes, Dari asked me if I should introduce the instrument. I think this instrument is not an object that you see in everyday life. So this is called the balafon. It's a wooden keyboard that is made up of 21 wooden keys, and underneath there are some calabashes, which these are all natural ingredients. So it's from a tree, so the musicians dry it up and then empty it, so it acts as a resonator. It's actually an instrument from West Africa, played by the Bobo and Bamana people. So this instrument, I was taught by Yusuf Keita. He's also the maker of this instrument. So enjoy the music, and I hope you will look it up and try to understand the music culture a bit more. Thank you.
So, we are entering the key part of the ceremony tonight, the awards ceremony. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Ghent University Internationalization Office and the Department of Conflicts and Development Studies to sponsor the prizes and the GESI gifts to our graduates. Moving on, I'd like to introduce Professor Herwig, Dean of the Faculty of Political and Social Sciences, on stage to hang out the award for the EMGS Best Master Thesis 2024.
Dear guests, dear colleagues, dear graduates, it's an honor and a privilege for me to present this year's Master's Thesis Award. This award is a recognition of academic excellence, intellectual curiosity, and a commitment to pushing the boundaries of knowledge in the chosen field of study. First of all, I would like to thank the members of the jury for the great and difficult job they did. The nominees of this award have demonstrated exceptional dedication, outstanding research skills, and a remarkable capacity to contribute to their discipline. Their theses not only meet the high standards expected of a master's degree, but also introduce new perspectives and make a significant contribution to current understanding in their field of study. The 8 nominees for the Master's Thesis Award are, and I apologize for the pronunciation of the names, Afric Lynch Horn, Bogdan Nowoczycki, Hannah Moore, Jessica Moss, Audrey Surflow, Veronica Calieno, Ina Nihus, and finally Rebecca Bricci. Throughout the research process, the winners exhibited remarkable determination and creativity. The work stands out for its rigorous methodology, thorough analysis, and original insights. Moreover, the ability to frame complex questions and to present them in a clear and compelling manner is a proof of high academic potential. It's my sincere belief that the work presented in these theses is not just a reflection of the students' achievements, but also an indication of the high academic standards we uphold in this master's program. The winners have proven to be outstanding researchers, and I have no doubt that the winners will continue to make valuable contributions to their fields, whether in academia, industry, or beyond. Please join me to congratulating the top 3 of the Master's Thesis Award. The prize for the 3rd best master thesis goes to, and maybe we could have some music, but goes to Afric Lynch Horn. The prize for the 2nd best master thesis goes to Rebecca Bricci. She's not here. Someone else can come over. And finally, of course, we have a winner. The prize for the best master thesis goes to Ina Niehaus.
Wonderful. Congratulations to you all. We will now proceed to the EMGS Best Graduate of 2024. Please welcome on stage and allow me to try once again Professor Jaroslav Javaskit from University of Wrocław.
Thank you very much. So it's my great honor to hand in the awards for the best graduates of 2024. It is always a difficult task. This year even more so, because we had an extremely talented and skilled cohort. It also always poses a problem to recalculate all the grades you receive in those 6 different universities of the consortium plus our non-European consortium members into the German scale of grades. But we did that successfully, and thus we are able to award those 5 of the students who got grade number 1 in this German scale. So please allow me to award it in the alphabetical order. The first grade goes to Jan Volker Bienek. Is Jan with us? No. No, okay. Okay, we will send it by post. Okay, then the award goes to Veronika Calieno. And the next award goes to Svenja Hitzemann. And the next award goes to Eifric Lynch-Horn. And the award goes to Jessica Emily Moss. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And now, dear graduates, it's time to award your well-earned diplomas. Please welcome on stage Professor Samuel Kuchen and Professor Eric van Houten from Ghent University. And of course, Stefan Kaschner.
And Stefan. Before we start, just a few words. I misuse my position here, and it's the last time I can do that. So I will give a lecture of about 2 hours about the pacification of Ghent. Well, hello MGS. Hello Wrocław, hello Leipzig, hello Roskilde, Vienna, hello London. Welcome in Ghent, beautiful Ghent. It's an honor to have you here. And well, before we will start with something that you are anticipating, because that's by far the most important thing this evening, the party. We will do the second best thing, that's awarding the diplomas. Now, two things I just want to say before we start. The first one is about that pacification of Ghent. Just sit down and listen. But actually, it's what happened in this room. It's two things, and it's referred to in many of your talks of the students listening. Your wonderful, evaluation of your stay, of your experience, EMGS. The one thing is that representatives of provinces of the north. Let's use the Lord of the Rings language of the north. Were coming together, collaborating to make an alliance against the tyrant of the south. That's the Emperor Charles, well, actually his son, the Spanish oppressor. So it's about resistance, it's about collaboration. That's one thing I wanted to say. The second thing is that, something about you and my experience working with you and your generations the last 10 years. You're wonderful. You're great. You're absolutely the top. And that's not an exaggeration. And any teacher having worked with global studies students will say, put you in a classroom, it takes 10 minutes to know where the global studies students are. They raise their hand, they have critical remarks. They look at you like, what do we have here? And they don't start a question with, do we have to know this for the exam? So it was a wonderful experience working with you, and certainly this year, it was an exceptional year. I read all the theses that we had to evaluate, and I must say I was flabbergasted by the quality of these theses, and of course, it exemplifies. It kind of shows the overall quality of your work. So that's what you have done, and what you will get in the end is a piece of paper, and that piece of paper will be handed over to you. Of course, it's more than a piece of paper. It's something that you will keep all your life, but it's the sign, it's our recognition for your work and what you have done. How we will do that? We have Stefan here, who is now the master of the ceremony. He will call you, because he's the only one who can pronounce all the names with not too many difficulties. And Samuel, who is my colleague in Ghent and who will take over the position of academic coordinator, and me will then hand over the paper, and we will have a picture taken. So don't run away when you have the degree just to jump in one of the bars in Ghent. Just stay a little while. Okay, we can start, and we have the alphabetical order, I think, as always. And we have a little present. Take it also with you.
Yeah, that's a great pleasure for me. And I'm calling to the stage as the first one, Lina Alexeichuk. Siddharth Arora. José Miguel Arquiza. Katharina Bieling. Miranda Swartz-Bolev. Elif Güneş Bozkurt. Gloria Brown. Veronica Calieno. Katharina Dube. Marvin Dzikowski. Shahed Gadala. Max Gärtner. Juliane Hiller. Svenja Hitzemann. Nathalie Höhn. Luning Hong. Huppach. Caroline Japlow. Clara Jungnicke. Buruc Kaya. Niklas Kerle. Carla Kerscher. Tamino Claude. Elsa Körner. Marie Liebers. Ben Lobedan. Ophélie Loger. Sarah Lorenz. Afric Lynch Horn. Lisan Mai. Mohamed Miyaji. Jessica Moss. Munchia Nalomba. Dui Phuong Nguyen. Ina Nihus. Bohdan Novozhitsky. Sophia Oettinger. Nele Pallemarz. Leonie Papritz. Victoria Pennertz. Marta Piekiewicz. Tonka Trisha Radisch. Yesid Gerardo Romero Herdia. Ines Sada. Elahe Sachi. Olivia Sankowski. Lino Saya Sepandu. Rebecca Scholz. Livia Segers. Simon Seitel. Leonie Tara Singh. Helena Sterks. Darina Stojčeva. Anshat Usef. Julia Machado Vita. Julie Vego. Marlin Wunderlich. Daksh Yadav. Jentje Saal. And Audrey Zurflug.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Samuel, and thank you, Stefan. So, the official part of this ceremony is coming to an end, but the night is young. I'll first let you invite all of you to a reception upstairs in the festive hall, first floor, and we will proceed to Charlatan, which is, for all of you who have been in Ghent, knows to be the best student party place in town. I believe that all of you have received already an entrance ticket. If not, please talk to one of our student helper and they will give you some extra one. And you have also received tokens for you to get some free drinks, and you can go crazy afterward. But before we go, please let me express one more time a heartfelt thank you to our Ghent team, including our student helper, and finally Marissa von Laken is here with us tonight. She might be preparing for the leaving already. For this graduation event, all colleagues from the EMGS Consortium, our Vice Rector, Professor Mika, Dean of the Faculty of Political and Social Sciences, Professor Herwig, and the head of the Department of Conflicts and Development Study, Professor Sami. Thank you all for joining us this evening. And just a very few last word from one graduate to another. I encourage you to embrace the uncertainty in the future with resilience and courage. Your journey doesn't stop here. I wish you all the best and enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Merci.